Ink-a-dink, 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 ink-a-dink. Wow!
Yeah, I got it. It's... Oh! You know, we really haven't heard from Sheriff Joe Arpaio's wife in quite some time. And is this... And Tweety, take a look and see if we've got... okay, yeah, it's coming from Arizona. It's coming from... It's a number we have for Sheriff Joe Arpaio, so we know that it may very well be Sheriff Joe Arpaio's... From Arizona, it's coming from... It's a number we have for Sheriff Joe Arpaio, so we know that it may very well be Sheriff Joe Arpaio's wife, who Basil loves to remind me is, you know, her real name, the name she goes by, is Sheriff Joe Arpaio's wife, Arpaio. And so she can't talk. She's got to get some thoughts from the sheriff before she can discuss anything. And so we'll going to put the phone back down, and we'll continue that conversation perhaps on Sunday morning show. But I don't understand. You really haven't incorporated because it's not, you know, Craig Ferguson really should be here in the audience. I mean, you know, he's not even like Stephen Colbert, who's pre-taped, I don't know, 18 years worth of shows by putting the camera on him 24/7 after he left the Colbert Report. I've even forgotten what your name is. Hey, Sweetness, what's Craig Ferguson's skeleton's name?
Craig. Jeffrey.
Jeffrey. Okay. Well, this is definitely. Oh, that's right. We had dubbed this member of our show Little Jeffrey Peterson, because we've got little other things that we refer to in the little size. Like Drew Carey. But so we've got Little Jeffrey Peterson here, and we haven't really had much time that we've spent with talking about and to Little Jeffrey Peterson here. And all I know is you dressed him up a little bit so that he's a little bit more appropriate looking for the show, maybe. But hold on. Oh, gust of wind. Hold on. No, it's not on the back. Okay, it's the fleck of dust phone that we've got Donald Trump on hold on is heading up in that direction. So I think what we're going to have to do is continue Sunday morning, and we'll see if we can talk with the guests, Donald Trump, etc., etc. Basil BuddhaCat presents. I'm David Stevenson, Basil's co-host, etc., etc., etc. Chief Gopher, interpreter. Yeah. See you Sunday morning. Got it. Okay. Blessed Sunday morning to you. Well, welcome back to Basil BuddhaCat Presents. I'm David Stevenson, Basil's co-host, interpreter, chief gopher, and I'm going to have to hold on to the phone a little bit more carefully here because, you really should get him onto the, at least onto the micro inky dinky phone, which is down here. I mean, I understand that he doesn't really qualify for the gravitas of, certainly not the cat in the hat phone that we keep Lil, that we keep Lil on 24/7, nor the Nickelodeon phone, because we've had some other presidential candidates that at least qualified for the Nickelodeon phone. Back in 2012, when we began doing the show, we had quite a few of the Republican presidential candidates on, and they got their time on the Nickelodeon phone, and then apparently we've degenerated a little bit with our quality of candidates and their importance to them, so they went down to the Nokia phone and then to the Inky Dinky phone, the Micro Inky Dinky phone, and now we got this fleck of dust phone that I've got a hold on, and hopefully it's there. I think it's there. So we had on Friday night we had Donald Trump on, and I guess it's still during daylight hours there, and besides he's up till late hours, so I'm sure he's hello. Yeah, he's on. He's actually doing some tweeting, and we don't get tweets, so we miss out on a lot of this stuff. So you got to find a way to get some tweeting into our budget so we can pick up on some of these things that he puts out there. And Basil said, so we actually, we do better than that in the sense that Trump sends us stuff. Sent us this shirt that's a bit large for Basil, so I've got it on. But it's got evidence on it that that not only do the blacks love Trump, but the women love Trump too, because we've got 4 black women on the shirt. And what better evidence of the claims he makes than a T-shirt that says something like make America, I don't know, what is this make the Republican Party gnash their teeth as he grates on them, or something like that. So you were saying something while we were off the air about and I know you're neither one of us are inclined toward conspiracy theories, because generally you're adding 1 + 1 + 1 and getting something to the affinity of 15 million, like Karl Poppa's YouTube video, and you can look it up, Karl Poppa, Poppa, and he's got this video out, and apparently it's a song from The Walking Dead, and we're trying to figure out, because we've heard that what you could do on YouTube is if you pay them enough money, they'll create a starting point for you. They'll, let's say, slightly more than 1 or 0. For a certain amount of money, you can get a video out there that says 15 million views, and I imagine if people see it and have it promoted to them and see that, wow, 15 million people watch this video, that it makes it more likely that they'll say, well, if 15 million other people are watching it, it must be worth watching. Which is why it's apparently launched all the way up to, we looked right before we came on the air, and that 15 million plus video viewers of Karl Poppa playing the Flatula phone, something from The Walking Dead, Oh, it's all the way up to 15,112,000, and that's even more impressive than 15 million. So we got this guy on the phone. We know he's Donald Trump. We know he's Donald Trump because he's got the mannerisms and the zaniness of your typical 8-year-old. And we watched the other night. We watched one of the late night talk shows, and they had an 8-year-old kid on that apparently had given his graduation speech at his middle school, and he did all the candidates, but Jimmy Fallon invited him to come on and actually stand beside Jimmy, who was, we'll call it oranged up, all tanned up as Donald Trump, and the 8-year-old was also. No, I don't think it was Karl Popper. He was oranged up too, and he was dressed like they were both dressed as you would expect Donald Trump to be dressed, and boisterous, and acting certainly as intelligent as your typical 8-year-old. No disrespect meant, as we say that, no disrespect toward typical 8-year-olds. So I know we're going to get a lot of flack about that from 8-year-olds. We all know 8-year-olds, and generally they're pretty smart, and would certainly be taking a lot of offense at being compared to Donald Trump in terms of their behavior and their. So we got. So he's got this $1 million left over, and hey, you on the phone there, Mr. Trump? He's still on. Oh, that must be running up quite a bill for you, calling us. Says no, he's got the Scotch plan. For the Scotch plan, you get unlimited calls from Scotland, and a couple of decanters of Scotch to go along with it. So he's been on the phone, and he's tweeting away while we have this conversation since night before last, and he's at his country club, and he's droning on about the presidential campaign, and you were telling me something, and you started to say it, and I was just so overwhelmingly stunned by what you were saying that I sort of looked the other way and had to think a little bit about what you were saying. But you were telling me that speech, Hillary Clinton gave a speech on, I believe it was Wednesday, in Raleigh, North Carolina, and you read the transcript afterwards of the speech and thought for certain that it was a speech by Bernie Sanders, because she touched on, really, in fact, everything that Bernie Sanders, all the issues and ideas that Bernie Sanders brought to the campaign. She rephrased them. She tweaked them a little bit. She didn't say free college. She said debt-free college. She said that something about the Trans-Pacific Partnership, the trade deal that she sort of kind of helped promote while she was a member of the Obama cabinet, that it was bad, and that's kind of an about face from where she was, and that's not going to complain about that. I mean, she was talking about a hefty raise in the minimum wage. She talked about, of course, she said she gave them the old nod and wink to the folks that are the individuals that have given multi-million-dollar contributions at her at the dinners that she's held. Don't listen. Pay no attention to that that Hillary Clinton behind the curtain because it's not me. But she said something about cutting out this crazy financing of campaigns by the wealthy. She pretty much touched on everything. And we've been hearing through the entire campaign the talking, well, these kind of heads generally, but these folks talking about how, and it's been something that we've been concerned about because she's at best centrist to begin with. She's certainly not a progressive. She's certainly not a liberal. But the talk during the campaign is that, oh my God, all this hoop you do with Bernie Sanders, it's making it hard for Hillary Clinton to move on to the general election, move on to campaigning for the general election, and move to the center. And I'm sure that corporate media, when they say center, they probably mean economic right wing, the corporate right wing, not necessarily on social issues, but certainly on padding the nests and padding the wallets of the wealthy that finance campaigns, and pivot towards the general election. And you mentioned to me, and I know you did, and I actually wrote it down, and I'm going to quote you first, and then I'm going to explain. Basil said, he was worried about her pivoting towards the general election and shifting further right on issues. And that was very disconcerting because to progressives, she's on a lot of issues pretty right-wing already. I mean, the term hawk applies the same way that the Republican Party has their neocons or neoconservatives, the Democratic Party has their neoliberals. And we've seen a lot of nation building going on and a lot of taking out of leaders of countries and getting stuck with basically desolate wasteland, starting with Iraq. And I mean, it's been that way elsewhere in the world, and this goes back through the at least as far back as Ronald Reagan, and probably back further than that. But they've been doing this nation building where they use their weaponry to pretty much blow up a country, and Iraq's a good example of that, where they caused millions of people to immigrate, to leave Iraq and go to Syria, to go to Lebanon, to go to Jordan, and because things weren't exactly safe in Iraq, because you had a civil war going on after the invasion and occupation. And these folks that we can call them neoconservatives, neoliberals, are pretty much all cut from the same cloth. They all believe in nation building, that we should be using our corporate military might, including that the latest example of that is the F-35 jet fighter, which runs into the billions of dollars for one of them. And they've almost got it to the point now where it'll fly. They're working on it. They're pretty close to getting it to the point where the jet will actually take off safely, maneuver through the air, and once in a while at least, land safely. So, okay. Hold on. You gave this guy... Okay. So, here we go. So, don't just give out my phone number to everyone. I mean, I understand it's a cat, but that doesn't. Remember, we've had Chief Justice Antonin Scalia's cats on the phone. all 12 of them. No, that was Trump's 12 cats that are all named Whitey. But Scalia's cats we've had on, talking about how the theory goes that they were the ones that sat on the pillow on his face and suffocated him, and all the other stuff that goes along with that. And are you still there? Yeah, he's still there. We really wouldn't want to lose. We really wouldn't want to lose the phone when we've got Donald Trump on, all the way from Scotland, and it's daytime here now, but it's still nighttime there. It's the hours are somewhat different, 5 or 6 hours difference. But I really wouldn't want. Hold on. Oh my goodness. Well, the phone's out there somewhere. It's floating around. Maybe Walter can gather it up in her tail, and Walter can gather it up and bring it back up on the table at some point. So we're gonna now that we've lost our guest, and ashamed that, we're gonna let the you're still in this Denver Bronco thing, huh? Okay, we're gonna play a little bit of the Denver Broncos spring training, summertime preparation for the season. You're obviously not going to see Peyton Manning amongst the those clad in orange and white, but I'm sure he'll be back watching the games and maybe doing some color commentary and talking about the game of football. And you got any predictions, Basil, about who's going to win the Super Bowl this year? Said not even sure if the dude for the Patriots, Tom Brady's even going to play. So how can he? Obviously the Patriots are generally one of the better teams, but he's not even sure if he's going to play. So this has been Basil BuddhaCat Presents. I'm David Stevenson, and we'll leave you with some video of the Denver Broncos summertime scrimmages, and also the little hijinks from Oswald Cobblepot and Walter Feather Duster Kitty. Have a blessed Sunday, and we'll see you next Friday.
They say they'd rob your grandma blind on Wall Street, on Wall Street. Fritter her away her Medicare on Wall Street. And Pharma Oil and their pet fox don't care if she lives in a box, so long as they wear platinum jocks on Wall Street, on Wall Street. Meow.